views and opinions expressed by the participants in this program are those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Gray Media Inc., KTVF, my mother, or the Commissioner of Baseball.
This is a
Copper River Fleas, the official life wear of Alaska. I'm always proud to wear this because back when the lady was first starting the business, I worked with her on radio advertising. And boy, that was a teeny. She'd be interesting if she lived here. That'd be an interesting interview because remember when we talked to Roaming Root, it was just like little business that went and became huge, and Copper River Fleece. But it's everywhere. And I'm sorry, my wife's going to be mad. I'm babbling again. Welcome to show number 16, on day number 16 of February. February the 16th for show 16. Website is webcenterfairbanks.com. The app is Alaska's news source Fairbanks. And, of course, you can find us on your various forms of box, Apple TVs, Rokus, and so forth that you plug into your television if you want the full screen, nay, almost IMAX experience of this program. This week, we are visiting with Heather Brice, and she is representing Ice Alaska because the championships are getting started here today, actually, I think, as you're seeing this show. And then next week, Jerry Evans Part 2, because when two broadcasters get to talking, they don't stop easy. So we'll have the second part of our visit with Jerry, and which is kind of more of a life in Fairbanks type visit from two people who have been here for a while. Before we get to the news here today, let's cue the orchestra. Because KTVF is excited to announce the 2026 Interior Wedding Showcase, Sunday, March 8th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Westmark Gold Room in Fairbanks. We invite you to join us at the largest bridal expo in Interior Alaska, where brides-to-be can plan and shop for their wedding in one place, featuring a variety of the finest bridal products and services throughout the state. You'll find jewelers, caterers, florists, photographers, DJs, and everything you need to make your wedding dreams come true. This is a free event and open to the public. And for more information, you can contact Marlene Phillips at marlene.phillips at KTV11. Flutty. Just look right down there. The thing is right down there. Okay, enough of the music. I should be able to speak properly after all this time. Well, we'll see if I survive the news. Matt Murtis has our story of the week here, which you can see in its full form by visiting Web Center Fairbanks and looking through the Alaska's news source content. Matt reports the Veterans Advisory Council presented its annual certificates of recognition to 3 Fairbanks leaders for their exceptional contributions to the veteran community. Honorees included Debbie Fox for her decade of service at the VA clinic, and Paul Perrault for his work with the Veterans Court and the new Interior Veterans Cemetery. Retired Colonel Stephen Phillips was also recognized for finally making the UAF Veterans Memorial a reality after more than 10 years of planning. So congratulations to the 3 of you, anybody else that might have been in the running, and thank you so much for your service to the community. We will just sprint right along to the calendar now. And item number 1 is Bardathon XXVII, which I mathematically determined to be 27. Bardathon 27. February 20th, 5:30 p.m. is when it starts. It lasts through March 1st at 8 p.m. Raven Landing Senior Community, Raven 4, 1222 Cowell Street here in Fairbanks. Fairbanks Shakespeare Theater invites you to join them for Bardathon, a marathon reading of the complete works of William Shakespeare. It's free and open to readers of all ages and experience levels. The opening ceremony and Shakespeare Trivia Bingo is the thing that's the 20th from 5:30 to 7 in the Fireplace Lounge. And if you can't make it in person, grab your script and phone it in. Not the way they usually think of phone it in, but like phone it in with vigor at 907-405-8787. And for a complete schedule of the readings, you can visit fairbanksshakespeare.org. Now on page 2, we have Comedy for a Cause. And that's going to be Friday the 20th from 7 to 9 p.m., a comedy fundraiser for those 21 plus, and that'll be held at the Basement, 541 3rd Avenue in Fairbanks. And this is a little bit lengthy, but we're going to go with it. The planet is getting hotter. The wildfires are getting smarter. Our firefighters need more support than ever. As comedians, there's not much they can do besides make people laugh, but if that's worth a few bucks to you, they will take your dollars and pass them on to the local fire crew. Come out and fight fire with jokes. I understand flatulence might be involved. Profits from this AK Fireman Tour will go directly into the coffers of local fire organizations to keep your goods and woods safe. And headlining the tour is Damian Speranza, a firefighter and nationally touring comedian from New York who's performed at comedy clubs all over the country, at the world-famous Apollo Theater, not too shabby, headlined and performed at multiple comedy festivals, and appeared on Don't Tell Comedy. From his battle with cancer to working as a firefighter and being a father, Damian has plenty to talk about on stage. He's a high-energy comedian who has no problem discussing the good, bad, and ugly in his life, regularly organizes Comedy for a Cause shows to fundraise for fire crews in the lower 48, and says he's thrilled to bring the program to Alaska. So again, that's the 20th. Doors open at 6:30, show at 7. Tickets are $20, and all the proceeds support the Alaska Fallen Firefighter Memorial. Remember, it's a 21-plus event. If you want more information on these and other things in our community calendar, just find the Community Calendar tab when you visit webcenterfairbanks.com. Pretty exciting to have Ice Alaska coming up, and we have somebody who knows a lot about it from a variety of perspectives, Heather Brice, who is a longtime Fairbanksan, skilled and award-winning ice carver, and currently Vice President of Ice Alaska, a proud volunteer-driven, not-for-profit organization based right here in Fairbanks. Heather Brice is our feature of show number 16, and we hope you enjoy it on Interior Insights. Heather, with whom I went to school for a while, I'm pretty sure. Were we in band together?
We were in band together, yep.
You were a clarinetist, as I recall?
I was a flautist.
A flautist?
Yes, and piccolo and briefly saxophone.
Just flouting away. Mm-hmm. So talk about growing up, in Fairbanks. You got here when you were pretty young.
Yep. We moved here when I was just prior to first grade. Dad was a doctor in the Army, did his medical training, and moved us up here. He always had a dream of living in Alaska, setting up practice, and so this was home. We built our first big home out on Ski Boot Hill when I was young, and we had horses, and I was pretty fortunate. Just swam, did a lot of competitive swimming and horses. And
it's a good place to grow up. You enjoyed it.
It was a great place to grow up, yep.
Yeah, I agree.
I never liked the cold, though.
No?
No.
But, there's some irony I guess we'll have to get into. You certainly found a way to make it work for you.
Yeah.
And how did you get your start being involved with ice?
So ice just sort of happened. I have a background in art, and so that's what I went to college for. A couple years down in Tacoma at Pacific Lutheran, and then got homesick and came back home, finished up at UAF. And I was babysitting with my young daughter for some of the Brice girls, and one of them suggested that I reach out to her cousin and try ice. And so that just happened to be Steve, my now husband, and he was carving the Madonna at Monroe and let me do the hands. And I just loved how quick the medium was and some of the tools that we got to use, the power tools. And he mentioned something about a competition coming up, and I was intrigued because being a competitive swimmer, I was like, how's this work? And so pestered him enough to let me be on the multi-block that year, and that was in 99.
So did you start with big sculptures, or were you doing something smaller for a while, or do you still do both large and small?
Yeah, I mean, we do a very minimal amount of clay to be bronze. So I have a couple bronzes, but anymore, there's really not time. So I really started doing life-size ice right off the get-go.
And so when you first started to compete, I mean, you said you're competitive, so that was pretty exciting. But was there anything that kind of surprised you about being involved in that?
Oh gosh, I think probably the long days. That was really shocking because we were out there 15 to 17-hour days, and so it's very much like an endurance event. But it's the aspect of engineering and artistry and keeping your butt warm and, just all of the things. So it surprised me, I guess, just because the learning curve was so fast because you have such a time limit and you can go so massive. So that was...
So as you have then continued to be involved over time, you went beyond just carving to actually being on the board and being involved in the administration of this. So let's move in that direction now. Tell us, what is Ice Alaska? What is the championship? How does it all fit together?
Yeah, so the championships, the World Ice Art Championships was the ice event that I was invited to. And it was once upon a time on Phillips Field Road at the old railroad park. And it was magic. I mean, just absolute amazing creations in ice in such a short period of time. I think the camaraderie really pulled me in. And of course, we won the first year, so that really had a big pull on my heart. And the event was just amazing. And it's such an cool thing that we can experience with so many people from around the world, and just even if we don't speak the same language, we kind of do with ice. And so I've always been passionate about keeping the event going, and when it kind of fell apart at the old park, we saw an opportunity to keep it going by moving to the fairgrounds, which we always knew it would be a great location. And
well, a place people are used to going to have a good time. Anyway, it's all set up with the entrances and everything.
Oh, it's so beautiful. In the woods. I mean, it's just like an enchanted forest back there.
Good. Well, so when as the championship starts, what are the kind of take us through the process, because I assume there's quite a bit that happens before the gates open and all of that. So when do you start working on the organizational part of the competition?
Yeah, so that starts right after the event, right after the event, we start organizing planning for the following year.
Oh, really?
Prepping the site where the ice is harvested. This year, they graded it a little bit less steep, so that made things easier. And then you start grooming the ice on the pond where they harvest the ice early. So like in November, they started clearing the snow. As soon as they could get on the ice, they started clearing the snow because that helps it grow faster. And so that's a process. There's probably 4 or 5 days that went into the actual harvest. A lot of preparation going into that because there's so many moving pieces for that piece. But yeah, we've got crews working logistics, sculptures, the ice. We've got a crew that puts away all the gear at the end of the year. And so it started a long time ago.
Yeah.
Carvers are coming up with their designs, and the boot campers are here now. So we call it boot camp, but it's the park build, basically.
Yeah.
Great experience for young carvers to kind of learn the big ice and that. So they came about the first week in January, and they started building the park. So it's almost complete. We will open the park on the 16th.
Okay.
So the kids' park's open, and that's the day that the multi-block starts. So none of the big competition pieces are finished, but the public can come in and watch day by day. So I highly recommend season passes and come watch the whole process.
Yeah, because see, that's interesting, and something that people, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know this, but anybody that's a newcomer or was unfamiliar, I mean, I wasn't aware that this is as much about watching the things being created as it is seeing the finished product. Then you really get to experience how this is done.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a magic to it, and every team does things differently. There's so many different tooling methods and lifting, and some will stack the entire stack of ice and then carve. Some will do components and then stack them later. It's pretty fascinating to watch.
Yeah. Well, and again, you got people from all over the world. Did I see somewhere like 150 competitors?
I think we have about 70 this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've got 11 multi-blocks lined out. And we have 22, at least, two-man teams and about 30 single blocks. So there'll be a lot of fantastic sculptures. We've got Japan, China, Mongolia coming, and Germany's here. So people from all over the world are coming to compete. And it's great to see because we've had a lull since COVID in the international travel.
Yeah, I would imagine. So was it maybe in the hundreds of competitors before that, or has it always been sort of less than 100?
I think over the exchange, yeah, there probably was 100 at one point. We've had up to 17 multi-blocks at the old park.
And how many people work on one of those?
Multi-block is 4.
Wow.
4 artists.
I thought I heard something about how part of why people like working here and coming here, other than a favorable temperature scheme, is there's something about our ice that is special. What's that about?
Well, it's deemed the Arctic diamond, and it just freezes slowly over the winter. The cold months, and with that clearing of the pond, it freezes faster. But it's just crystal clear. And because of that just slight movement in the water, it just freezes just beautifully.
Wow. And is that rare? You don't see that happen too many places?
Most places where there's competitions, they use canister ice, or they call them climb bells, and they're man-made 300-pound blocks.
Oh.
Ours are like 4,200 pounds. So,
and they come right from nature.
yeah.
Wow. So let's again kind of talk about what happens as the competition and the I guess the competition, which includes the viewing when everything's done. How does that unfold over the however long it's open?
So multi-block is 6 days long, and then there's awards the following day, and then a rest and recovery and get your site ready for the two-man event. The two-person, two-block event is 3 days. And then there's another day of rest and awards, then rest and get ready for the single block. And then that one is also 3 days. So it is literally a marathon for those carvers that are doing all 3 events.
My goodness. And so how long does that last? You said it opens February 16th, which I think is when this show actually is scheduled to come out.
Oh, okay.
And so how long will the park be open then?
So the park is open as long as the weather holds through March. So usually we count on at least 3 weeks in March that we'll be open.
Good. And will there be other activities or vendors or anything like that besides the carving stuff for kids to do and some of that?
We've got some. We've got Alaska Airlines Day. We've got Kids Day. I think a Military Appreciation Day, and we'll have, if the awards nights are really fun, if people can come out for those, we have fire pits going, and usually a couple singers and sometimes the fire dancers. So that's always kind of a fun event.
And then with the admission, you mentioned that there's a season pass. Are there also day passes for people that just want to come in the once? How do people get those?
So they can buy them online, icealaska.com. We've got links there, and or they can buy them at the gate. Season, it lines it out. Season passes, day pass. If you come in the day and want to come back at night, they'll give you a wristband, so you can come back in that night.
Yeah. So when you how many victories, by the way, have you had in this? You said first year? I
have 12 World Championship titles.
Good gracious. Yeah. And so all from here?
Yeah, all from here.
Have you gone anywhere else to carve?
Yep. Yeah, we've carved in Lake Louise. I've got several first places there. Germany, Austria, Italy, Torino Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat. So what is it? What kind of, for somebody like myself who knows absolutely nothing about how this works, what is unless it's proprietary, what's the workflow kind of like? I mean, you start, you got all this ice in front of you. How do you turn that into these magnificent things that we see?
So I approach it, I'll do a sketch, kind of like a coloring book type sketch. With ice, I always aim for something that's identifiable right when you walk up. Because if it's like layers of things, you're not going to be able to see it because of the transparency.
Right.
And so I start with that. I do a cookie cutter punch out of the design once it's on ice. And we can do paper templates. Some artists will just draw on it. Some people don't do that, and they just wing it, and they find what's in the ice. But we are pretty strategic with our templates so that proportions are accurate, and it saves time during the competition. And so start with that cookie cutter shape, and then go from the backside and narrow things down, and then start shaping, rounding. And some people do it from a front back and just sink the layers back until they're where they need to be. So a lot of different approaches, but and then the bulk of it comes off pretty quick, and then it's the refining that takes so much longer.
Yeah. And then do you choose the lighting scheme also? Or because I've seen that a lot of these are lit up at night. Do you pick your colors and location and stuff? Or
we get input, yeah. So we place our lights at judging. They're judged under white lights, and then they'll request that what colors do you want to have on it. Most of them are LED now, so it makes it a lot easier. They used to have color gels back in the day. So that helps with creating different contrast colors and things like that.
Now, as somebody, again, who knows nothing whatsoever about this, although I do remember one time at 101, we competed in the snow carving portion of it in the Alaska Land parking lot. And we did a K101 logo with a boombox in it, and we might have gotten a prize. But that's it for me. So, I think about these horrible things that could happen, like you're doing something really intricate and then it kind of cracks, or, how do you, if you see something like that happening, some sort of a fault or whatever, how do you approach that, sort of a triage?
Yeah. So early on in the sculpture, you want to make sure that your design doesn't have an integral weight distribution point that has a major crack in it. So you got to kind of gauge that and move the block around or move your design on the block. There are techniques that you can do to kind of strengthen some of those if it just happens. And sometimes it does. If the ice is really cold, sometimes it'll fracture. So, you could like carve a channel and slush it. Sometimes that helps reinforce it. But sometimes there's accidents. And that's always a little panicky and frantic. And
yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, there's definitely a strength in knowing how to fuse ice back together.
Are you, as many times as you've done this, do you feel any nerves as you're approaching a new competition or a new sculpture? I guess
it would be the same as excitement. I mean, same kind of bodily reactions.
Yeah. But it's not like,
nerves.
am I going to be able to pull it off kind of thing?
It's more like time. Am I prepared enough in the time that's left? So during the competition, there's times where it's really frustrating and you got to keep a straight head.
Yeah.
That doesn't always happen.
And
you can have some meltdowns.
People are stabbing each other with spears that fell off.
You got to read the artist. If you're out there in the crowd and you want to talk to them, you got to read them. Otherwise, you might lose.
Now, you see, even though it's a competition, I get the sense that there's a sense of community among these carvers, that you guys are kind of like a family with a common cause. So do you help each other out, or, is it all competition, or is it cooperative too?
It's quite competitive, but it's cooperative too. And with Ice Alaska, being on the board of directors, we have to kind of keep in mind that we want the best event. We want amazing sculptures for the crowd and the success of the event. And so the more that we can help support the artists universally, like with lifts, and everybody gets gets the same equipment. Like we have an advantage because we live here. We have so many tools and equipment. Frequently we'll loan them out, and sometimes that's to our disadvantage. But you know, it's we want to see the best for the event too. So it's
well, and for people to come back, and if you get people, you say this can last for better part of a month, maybe more. So they're here for quite a while doing all these different things. There's got to be something that attracts them to participating.
Yeah, you'll see if you go down to the States where they have their ice carving shops, you know, a lot of them do the tabletop sculptures and wedding bars and things like that. You'll see Ice Alaska posters of their pieces on their walls as bragging rights, like 5-time world champion. And so they market themselves that way through it. The prize money is better than it has been in the past. So usually at least it helps with equipment costs and tool breakage and toe warmers and all the things. So
for somebody that is not necessarily into the nuance of what's going on in the sculptures, just a first-time spectator going in there and looking around, what would be maybe a tip you'd give them in terms of how to have the deepest appreciation for what they're seeing? Or is it just based on how you react to what you see, like kind of art in general?
I love the first impression. That's really something that I'm aiming for when I'm designing things. But there's a lot of technique that goes into it that somebody new to looking at ice sculpture wouldn't know. So I always recommend going and seeing the judging credentials, see what they're judged on, because there's technical aspects and there's artistic aspects. And a lot of times a carving somebody can fall in love with a carving by just reading the description, and maybe it's not that strong of a carving if you look at it technically. So, you know, there's a balance for sure.
Sure. They're going to be different for everybody, again, like any other form of art. So what's your favorite part of the experience, do you think?
Oh, gosh, I think day 2, when I'm got the bulk of it done and I'm in the zone and the snow crystals are falling down in the woods, and it's just magical. You just get in the zone and forget everything else. It's that creative process.
Even if you don't like the cold very much.
Yeah, even if you don't like the cold. I have a hot box on site with extra gloves and warm water, my Energy Fizz.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's, again, now, how do people, is the website the best asset for people that want to learn more?
Or the Facebook page. We've got a real active Facebook page. I think it's Ice Alaska Official.
Okay.
Is the Facebook page.
And then the address again was?
The address, icealaska.com.
Icealaska.com. And would it be possible to, you know, to kind of tease out, if there was one thing that you really wanted people to know about the competition, what would that be?
Fairbanks, we're really fortunate to have this event in Fairbanks. It's one of the most prestigious, biggest ice sculpting competitions in the world. And you have elite artists from all around the world. So come out and support it.
Yeah, because it really is world class.
Yeah.
I mean, it's thought of that way, it sounds like, many places around the world. So
it is, and we'd love to have more volunteers come join our team too. So that would be amazing to have people come involved. You can do ticketing, gift shop, security, snow brigade, all the things.
Good. Now everybody that's lived here for a while, I always like to, I mean, because you said that you have traveled around the world to different places. You know, you've gone different places with your business, I'm sure, and yet you continue to live in Fairbanks. Why Fairbanks?
Fairbanks has the draw of the big ice. My husband does the ice museum at Sheena. That's kept us tethered here. And all his shop equipment's very heavy, so that keeps us from moving.
Well, and we have the Diamond Elite Ice, too.
The Arctic Diamond is here, so...
But as far as the community, you know, just life, I mean, you haven't been doing ice your whole life in Fairbanks. What is it that draws you to this, say, beyond ice?
I love the community. The community is so friendly. Everybody will say hi to you in Fairbanks.
Yeah.
That's just how how it is. That was why I was homesick down in Tacoma. I didn't feel like I knew anybody, and nobody knew who I was, and there's a familiarity here.
Good. Yeah. Well, I guess that brings us to the lightning round then, unless there's anything else about the competition possibly that we missed. What year is this? Did you say 35th?
This is our 35th, 35th year. I think there's one year where we didn't happen, but yep, 35th.
Yeah. All right. Got your seatbelt on?
Yep, ready.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yeah. If you're going to be out there in the thing. Cats or dogs?
Oh, dogs.
Yeah. Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Yeah. Just for a change of scene? Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
All right. Pizza or burgers?
Burgers.
Yeah. Cake or pie?
Pie.
Pioneer Park or Alaska Land?
Alaska Land.
Oh, we're getting into it now. Favorite movie of all time? Or more recently, if you love too many.
Oh, gosh. I love Princess Bride.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're the second one. I can't remember who the other one was that said that. That's good. Weirdest food you've ever eaten?
Frog legs.
Frog legs? What do they taste like?
Chicken.
Yeah, they do. Okay. That kind of figured there must be something in there. Of course, George, I always liked how George Carlin would say, what do they do with the rest of the frog?
I know.
All right, if you had a time machine, what significant event in history would be amazing to witness?
Wow. I guess being at like the launch where they went to the moon.
Yeah.
But that was like the year I was born, so.
Well, yeah, but that's the whole point.
That would be really amazing.
You just go and you hover, and so what? To like be watching it on TV or actually be there at the site.
Be there at
and
the
watch Apollo 11 go up.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Well, Heather, I enjoyed visiting with you. I hope we'll be able to, again, maybe next year when the event comes up, and, any other opportunities. Thanks for being willing to come in and spend some time.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again, Heather, for coming in. Hope you folks watching or listening enjoyed the program. And to learn more and not only get a feast for the brain, but for the eyes as well, you should visit icealaska.com. We'll show you a little bit of it here. Now, the multi-block competition starts, actually, it already started at 8 a.m. this morning here on the 16th. Double block competition the 24th at 8 a.m. Single block competition and the Fairbanks Open start on March 1st at 8 a.m., and the Youth Classic starts on the 10th at 8 a.m. Also of note, they're going to have a spaghetti feed and Meet the Artists event on February 22nd at 4 p.m. in the Binkley Room at Pikes. Pikes, by the way, donating the food for that. So that's very nice of Jay and crew to do that. And you can see all of this information and a lot of these beautiful photos of ice sculptures at icealaska.com. Speaking of amazing photos, it's Fab Photo time here on Interior Insights. And these are the photos you send in to webcenterfairbanks.com. They get featured on the site. They get featured on this show. Might be featured in the calendar at some point. And this week we have Alaska Range Black Rapids from Nick Marchuk. A real beauty there. A nice autumn scene, and actually I'll leave the descriptioning to the descriptionator for those of you on Spotify or choosing the listen-only option.
This image captures a stunning Alaskan fall landscape along a winding road flanked by vibrant autumn foliage. Snow-capped mountains rise dramatically in the background under a cloudy sky, with evergreen trees and golden birch adding rich color contrast.
Highly inspirational. I look at a photo of nature's beauty when it's that magnificent, and I imagine a certain artist before his canvas reflecting upon happy little trees and happy accidents. And I know that's not him, it's the copyright I'm sorry, I really should calm down. Remember, send your photos to webcenterfairbanks.com, upload them, and we will be happy to feature them. And again, we're able to feature a good many of them, so your percentages of being a highlight here are... So, let's get on now to
It's time for the thing of the day, 'cause every day has things.
This edition of Interior Insights comes out on the 16th of February, and the 16th of February is Innovation Day. Innovation has become something of a buzzword these days, but it nevertheless represents an important concept that is constantly changing the world because innovation is, well, innovative. Innovation Day celebrates these intrepid explorers of new ideas and what their work changes about our future. Leonardo da Vinci's? What? Leonardo da Vinci? Marie Curie, Nikola Tesla, Steve Jobs, George Washington Carver, Thomas Edison, Granville T. Woods. The world wouldn't be the same without them. And Innovation Day celebrates not only the innovators of the past, but all those who will generate the billions and billions of creative ideas to come. So today, we unleash the creative spark and brainstorm that which will shake things up. Today, we seek to be the ones to write the future. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day. No, that's wrong. I went off script. I shouldn't do that. So there you go. It's show number 16 of Interior Insights. I'm J.R. Lewis. It's been a pleasure to bring you the program. Our website is webcenterfairbanks.com. Our app is No, it isn't. What is it? It's Alaska's news source, Fairbanks. I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to that. You want to email me? Yeah, I completely forgot to mention that before. You want to email me? Any questions, comments, thoughts for shows, whatever, something you want me to read on the show, something you don't want anybody to know except me, it's jrlewis@ktvf11.com. Next week, Jerry Evans Part 2, where we talk Fairbanks and why we like living here, why you should like living here. Everybody should like living here, unless we get too many people, and then maybe keep it a secret. Anyway, thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time, and cut.